If you're struggling as an artist despite doing everything you're told, posting content, releasing consistently, there's probably one crucial piece you're overlooking that's keeping you from blowing up. And believe it or not, it's not content, it's your music.
Why I've realized it's actually almost like pointless to even like keep telling people how to market their shit or whatever, is because they all think that their music isn't the problem.
Let me know if this sounds like you. You love music with all your heart, but every time you release a song, it feels impossible. Like literally impossible to stand out in the ocean of songs and content that these platforms are being flooded with every single day. But everyone around you is telling you, oh, you just have to be consistent with your releases and your content, and eventually something will stick. And while consistency itself is great advice, nothing ever really seems to click. I call this the spraying and praying method of the music industry. So when you sit down to make content for your new song, you don't really know what to make or what to say. You spend hours and hours trying to come up with the perfect line to put in your overlay text, and you bend the meaning of the song into something that might get attention. And if that doesn't work, you go looking for trends. I mean, after all, it's called a trend for a reason. And then you make a couple of videos trying to catch that wave, but it never feels like you. Frustration kicks in, and you repeat that cycle over and over and over again, because consistency is king, right? If you're anything like the artists that come to me for help, this might sound way too familiar. So how can you stand out in all of that? And what actually makes you unique as an artist in this saturated world we live in? The modern artist is not a manufactured product anymore. With social media, even major label artists are in direct contact with their fans and are building a career with longevity because of their personal connection with their fans and how they're able to foster a community. And your music is the core product. If that doesn't connect, no content will be able to save it. Look at the breakout artists of the last couple of years, like Billie Eilish or Chappell Roan. Strong artists, strong music, but even stronger message. To effectively do this, whether you are a major label signing or a small independent artist, requires 3 key points: an authentic sound, an emotional connection, and to stand out in the crowd. And I will show you how to get there with your music today. You might say, but I already have good songs I'm happy with. Yes, but a good song is not necessarily a song that makes your fan base grow. And to solve that, we have to find your unique why and how. And this is something I've learned over years and years as a producer developing independent artists. Let's break that down step by step so you can follow along and do this for your own music. First, we'll focus on the why. Why are you an artist? Think about it. You love music. You love to make music. You love to play music. But why wouldn't you not just do that for fun in your bedroom? What is the actual reason you're going out into the world with that? Why would you even go through all that hassle? And to be honest, there's literally no wrong answer. For some artists, it's sharing a tough past, trauma they went through in hopes it can lift other people up that are going through a similar experience. For other artists, it might just be to rebel against an old system and therefore allow others to feel good about themselves. Heck, for some artists, it can even just be to become famous and get attention. Nothing wrong with that. Just be honest with yourself, because that is your purpose behind making music. What drives you, your unique story or message, your why. So once you've nailed down your why, the next step is figuring out your how. And your how is your musical approach to communicating your why, like the angle, the style, and emotion of your song. These are your songwriting and production choices. First, to figure out your lyrical angle, you want to look at your topics and ideas and if they align with your why, ask yourself how you want to communicate that message. In case of the traumatic past, you might come at it with the angle of music that feels exactly like that feeling because it helped you feel understood when you were in that place, and therefore it can help someone in that same situation. Or you might choose the exact opposite angle, like making positive songs about a topic because you understand what it's like to be in that situation and can lift other people up without being ignored or dismissed. In developing you as an artist, that solves the first half of the music problem. You now know what to say and how to say it. With the lyrics and message covered, let's look at the musical side of the equation. Now, that part is a little tricky just because there's a lot more room to play with without going away from the core why. You can make a down-tempo indie rock song and an up-tempo bedroom pop song about the same topic, write an upbeat song about a sad topic. You can mix and match genres. Since that topic is more complex, I'll get into the nitty-gritty of sound development and how to use it to sound unique in the next video, so definitely subscribe if you're interested in that. But if you want to figure out your general musical direction, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1, what music influenced you the most growing up? Was there a key moment that sparked something? 2, what songs do you naturally write? And does this align with your why? Like maybe you write mostly piano ballads because that's the instrument you can play, and maybe that is contributing to your style. And 3, what genres and styles do you listen to and excite you? And this can be a broad spectrum as well, since it's great to have some diversity to pick from. With those questions answered, look at the commonalities and differences of those songs and artists and take the elements from that which most suit your why. Maybe sprinkle in some interesting outliers as well. The cool thing is that your possibilities here are endless. If you grew up in the Midwest and love to write country pop songs on your acoustic guitar, but you grew up listening to old Irish folk music because of your granddad and then fell in love with those old school hip hop sampled drums, listening to Timbaland records in high school, with a special place in your heart for 2016 EDM vocal chops, that could all be combined in your sound. No limits. And doesn't that sound like the coolest thing anyone has ever heard, to be honest? That'll make a cool genre. Now apply that to your own songwriting and productions and take those ideas and elements to your sessions if you work with a producer or other writers to better communicate your vision. Okay, now that we understand what we need to do and how to get to the why and how, let's circle back to our 3 key points from the beginning: authentic sound, emotional connection, and standing out. And how that applies to building your fan base and why this completely changes your content. Knowing your why and how leads you to create music that is genuinely you, making your content around that music naturally authentic, which in turn allows you to build a fan base that isn't there because they kind of vibe with that one song, but rather because they feel understood by what you have to say, that you don't even have to try to manufacture some sense of community. Your mission is so ingrained into everything you put out into the world that it takes on a life of its own. And it starts with the music. If your music has that strong of a message and resonates that strongly with your personal experience, then making content around it is so much easier and feels so much more natural. And for that, you stand out because A, your why and how is uniquely you, and B, because you have a why and how, which differentiates you from pretty much everyone who just puts out random songs on a Friday, hoping for the best. There is no need to artificially manufacture some sort of story around you and your songs because you actually have something to say. And you're saying it exactly how you want to, and the song and production are there to support that. If this helped you, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into artist development and leave a comment if you have any questions you want me to talk about. And if you're looking for personalized help with your next project, click the link in the description and let's talk.